U.S.-Iran talks are underway in Switzerland with the mediation of Pakistan and Qatar. Tehran has hardened its stance on U.S.-led talks in Switzerland, declaring that the Iranian delegation will not return to the table until President Trump apologizes for recent threats. Because while this was going on, Donald Trump called Trey Yingst over at Fox News and basically told him that the U.S. will resume attacks if Iran does not restrain Hezbollah allies, shifting the blame and responsibility in the ongoing crisis in Lebanon over to the Iranian side and the Iranian proxies within Hezbollah, who are once again, and I need to stress this, defending their homeland, okay? Hezbollah is entirely comprised of the Lebanese population, mostly the Shia Muslim population of Lebanon, but the Lebanese population nonetheless. And what they're doing in Lebanon is actually trying to defend their homeland and their territorial sovereignty, their territorial integrity. Because Israel is currently occupying 20% of Lebanese territory illegally, and they're trying to move in further into Lebanese territory. And a part of the memorandum of understanding is to stop Israel from taking further Lebanese territory and retreat, to get the United States to demand that Israel retreat from Lebanon. President Trump, with his statements to Trey Yingst, is in violation of the Memorandum of Understanding's first clause. President Trump today appeared to violate Clause 1 of the Memorandum of Understanding he signed with Iran at Versailles last week, which commits both sides to refrain from the threat of use or force against one another. In a Fox News interview, he threatened to take over the rest of the country of Iran, warned Iran it won't have a country if it closes the Strait of Hormuz, and said Iranian officials won't even make it back to your effing country if they close the strait. The Strait of Hormuz, nevertheless, remains closed for a second day. And the clause that we're talking about, the first clause, perhaps the most significant, most important clause in the Memorandum of Understanding, specifically wrote out, Trump signed this, that there would be refrain from the threat or use of force against each other. Okay? Just so you understand. Remember, 2 days or 3 days prior to this, when he was signing the Memorandum of Understanding, he openly admitted that if this continued for another week or 4 more weeks or 5 more weeks, that there would be complete economic collapse around the globe. That's what Donald Trump said when asked why he was signing this unbelievably favorable deal for the Iranian side. What did Trump say? In a moment of honesty, only Trump can commit to, by the way. No other president will ever be that brutally honest. What did he say? He said, if this went on for another month, the entire energy markets would collapse. So just remember that.
We will not give up our right to enrichment. And they, too, will be forced to accept it. You all know what the so-called President of the United States was saying. He had made a complete 100-degree turn. He was saying that Iran must surrender unconditionally.
President Trump, during our call, responded directly to those comments by Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. President Trump told Fox News he better watch his mouth, he better shape up, or we'll take over the rest of the country. And also, President Trump talked about the broader Memorandum of Understanding, indicating this is just a ceasefire extension. This is not the final deal with the Iranian regime. He said, I have a 60-day option, and I can do whatever I want after that option.
The only reason why this MOU is being signed, the only reason why there's a actual conversation taking place about like Iranian needs, Iranian demands, is because of the Strait of Hormuz. I don't think anybody misunderstands the situation. Trump certainly doesn't. He signed the treaty. Why is there currently a ceasefire negotiation taking place, and it's not just Iran begging to allow America to give them access to their own territorial waterway? It just doesn't make any sense. When Trump is like, oh, dude, we'll take it by force this time. It's like, well, why didn't you do it last time? Trump has done such a great job with the reflecting pool. He's getting ready to manage a larger body of water, also green or blue, American flag blue. Let's take a look at what he was saying last week.
If I went out and continued to bomb them for another 4, just bomb the hell out of them, those ships won't be going. And you're talking about $500, $600, $700 million a day. Also, we run out of reserves in about 4 weeks. You know, there are reserves all over the world, and there'll be a time when you wouldn't be able to get it. And you want to see bedlam?
And if you want to see the timeline, Midas Touch, shouts out the Midas Touch. They have a timeline, okay? They have on March 9th, on April 1st, and then on June 17th. Here are the different things that Trump has said so far. Let's take a look.
So much oil. We have tremendous oil and gas, much more than we need. We're now totally independent of the Middle East. We are there to help. We don't have to be there. We don't need their oil. We don't need anything they have.
If we keep bombing, those ships won't be going. And you're talking about $500, $600, $700 million a day. We run out of reserves in about 4 weeks, and there'll be a time when you wouldn't be able to get it. And you want to see bedlam?
Yeah, cooked. Galabap's advisor says, in the Swiss negotiations, Iran's negotiating team is focused seriously and uncompromisingly on realizing the 5 conditions. The team's main priority is the issue of a complete ceasefire in Lebanon and the regime's withdrawal. Iran believes that America violated the agreement in Lebanon from the very first hour. The issue of suspending oil sanctions and releasing Iran's frozen assets is also on the table. Following the escalation on the Lebanese front, the Strait of Hormuz has been closed since yesterday through the efforts of the Iranian team. The pressure regarding the Lebanon issue and the closure of the strait, coinciding with the negotiations, has intensely angered the American team, especially Trump. Additionally, Iran has not allowed any discussions on the nuclear issue in the negotiations. Trump's remarks today were an attempt to prevent further humiliation in the talks. The immediate response from the head of Iran's negotiating delegation to Trump's threat and the Iranian team's departure from the negotiation site has put America in a difficult position. The negotiations are ongoing. So that's the reality. It doesn't matter what Trump says. That's still the reality.